Second, you need to shift your thinking. Negotiating a salary is not as same as haggling with a vendor in a flea market. You don't bargain like you do in the flea market. In fact, your employer expects you to negotiate to some degree. For example, Salary.com surveyed 1,000 employers, and 73% of them said they expect new hires to negotiate salary. So why not give it a try? But the key here is to negotiate to a certain degree. You have to know where the boundary is. Otherwise, it'll turn to an ugly fight. And you don't want to do that. Okay? And whether you feel insecure in your job or you just wish to avoid the discomfort of discussing money with current or potential employer, you're going to be missing a lot unless you shift your thinking and start looking at the salary negotiation as a legitimate way to increase your wealth and get what you deserve. In addition, company put a way that you negotiate with HR. Actually, the salary is decided by both HR and your hiring manager. It's designed that way you don't negotiate with your hiring manager in case something happens. It will not ruin your relationship with your hiring manager and you. So make sure you negotiate the salary. Third, research is the key. These are terminology in business or negotiation or MBA. It's called BATNA, BATNA. Its acronym stands for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. So before you even think about heading to a negotiation table, it's vital that you learn from the company and the position you're talking about. For every opening, the recruiter or hiring managers open the position. The company already preset the range for this position that the recruiter or hiring manager cannot change. Therefore, often the recruiter and the hiring manager will tell you that it's a top of the range, I can't do anything about it. And it really means you are maybe around top of the range. It's maybe because you are on the top of the range or close to top of the range and they can't do anything about it. There's only one thing they could do is to change the job title. Or like they have other flexibility that you probably don't know. For example, give you signing bonus, give you a little bit more stock or stuff like that. If you get familiar with yourself with both the company's overall compensation structure as well as the salary of previous person who held the position, including perks like bonus and stock incentives or other incentives or signing bonus. The reason research is so crucial is because you need to have a solid foundation on which to base your negotiation. For instance, if you're arguing that you deserve more money, then it will help you to know what other people are doing the same job and why you are getting the same deserve more money. If you just negotiate says I need more money, trust me, there's no one or no company will give you the money. You have to provide a valid reason. That's what's called best alternative to a negotiated agreement. You need to be prepared. If you negotiate, you have the best alternatives. When I say the best alternative, it could be, let's say if they ask for 70K, but you negotiate to 90K. They could give to 90K to you, or they could lowball you to 80K, Or they could say, hey, I can't do anything about it. 70K is the best I can do. What's your next step? Are you going to just take the offer, or maybe just walk away, right? And if you insist to be higher the number than they could offer, then the risk is walk away. But there is a lot of tactics. You don't have to walk away from the table. You could ask them the range, or if you could test water to talk to them, like asking questions, so it will not turn into a bad situation like walking away from the table. For example, you need to at least research for 3 things. First, understand what's the average online. There are several websites show you the number. For example, Glassdoor. The pro about Glassdoor is give you average. The con is it's average number. If you're in a relatively higher expense cities such as Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, New York, the number will be much lower than what you deserve or you expect to get. So you can do some other, like for example, Indeed sometimes shows a number for this job. H1B shows all the people apply to H1B with the same salary, how much they're getting. You can search the H1B salary number that's public. You can also search PESA, Blind. There's many companies like that to show you what package they're getting on. I am also going to post some of people I know, get their agreement and post their numbers just for a reference later. So just watch on my channel and I will post that later. Remember, your strategy is to find out their range and know how to negotiate within that range. Because beyond that range, they couldn't do anything about it unless you have a counter offer. And they can, based on your counter offer, going to make some exceptions, or they have some talent acquisition program you can go through, but that's exceptions. Without that, they will not make an exception for you. Fourth, get personal. You may not think how your personality may affect a successful salary negotiation. But according to the Harvard Business Administration professor Deepak, it could make a huge difference. Current or prospective employers are much more likely to grant your request if they like you. In fact, the less likable you are during the negotiation, the less likely you are going to get what you want. So here's some tips. Always be polite. Manage the pressure of negotiation well. Right? So as I mentioned a lot of examples above, you always be polite and always ask what they could get. And always tell them a reason, an honest reason why you need that money. You never go back and say, I need more money. That's ugly. That will turn you into greedy personality. But if there's a reason, it's like money is on the table, right? It's not greedy, it's human. Everyone, if the money is on the table, everyone's going to grab it, right? So you have to manage the pressure of the negotiation well. You have to turn the conversation into a pleasant conversation, not an ugly conversation, right? And third, of course, don't be greedy, right? Unless you have we talked about it, unless you have a very good banner and you are ready to walk away. Otherwise, don't negotiate to the last dollar or last penny. Get a reasonable number and take the offer, right? And be persistent but not annoying, right? Be persistent means keep asking, keep negotiating, But not annoying means, as we talked about earlier, if people tells you that's the best number I can do, that's the best number I can do, don't try a third time because that's the best number they can do. Okay? Don't be greedy, don't be annoying, just take the offer or walk away. Okay? And there are always something that you forget about, your worth or your confidence, right? So, for example, if you negotiate with the employer, make sure you list things like your accomplishment, your experience, your qualification, and other factors for them to negotiate for you. Because they have their bosses too. They have to convince their boss. If you could list things like that for them, it's easier for them to copy and paste and convince their bosses. Okay, and like your degree, what are you so like I have one case. There's a person, she is about to get her master degree. It's 3 months away, but she can't claim she has a master degree right now. So they are giving her a bachelor degree salary. And she negotiated, says, in 3 months, I'm going to be a master degree. And I think you should give me a master degree salary. So she negotiated. And they did give to her. Because they know it's a reasonable reason, right? So, but they will not think for you. Oh, you're about to graduate in 3 months for your master degree. Let me add it for you. Come on. It's your salary. You need to remind them what's your accomplishment, what's your experience, what's your degree, how you want to negotiate. That's the whole thing you need to focus on. Okay? Or give the specific example how important you can help the business. Then they probably, or you haven't discussed with them, or they've never thought of. Tell them how much value you can bring in. But don't repeat the reasons. Oh, I can help you, blah, blah, blah. And don't give like a vague statement that says, oh, I can help the company. Be specific. I can help the company to negotiate. In my past experience, I helped company negotiate millions of dollars of contracts. I'm sure I can come here to help you negotiate a salary on the millions of dollars, and I think I'm worth that $10,000 pay increase. That's the specific reason you should give it up. Not just, I can help the company. That's not the good reason. And next is negotiate at least one time, one counter offer. As we talked earlier, you don't want to be greedy, you don't want to be annoying to ask again and again, but at least you should ask one time, right? Based on your research number and the number they give to you. It's much easier to find a middle number, and that's not going to be hard to do, right? That's not a greedy hard to do. So try one time, see what number they could get closer to your number. Then you can decide if you want to negotiate the second time. But remember, don't negotiate too many times. And a lot of things is just take practicing. Negotiation is also practicing. List all the possibilities in your mind, or write it down before the negotiation. Because that way you will know in your brain, if someone says something, immediately you know how to respond. Not to, like, someone says something, you start to think what I want. That's bad for negotiation. So you should keep practicing what you wanted. Write it down, right? Write down all the scenarios. And everyone's situation is different. Remember, you know your situation the best. So there's no general rules apply 100% to everyone. You have to learn the knowledge I just told you, the tactical I told you today, apply to your personal situation. So feel free to leave me a comment for your questions, and I can help you answer.